welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kimberly DeShon and I am a 4th grade teacher in Kentucky, and this is part 3 of my classroom setup series. So far, we really haven't got a whole lot actually set up. This is kind of the preparations to be able to set things up. So last time, we worked on painting a shelf, and that pretty much took us the entire time that I was able to come up here and work because I ended up having to do 2 coats, and unfortunately that was still not enough. So I went and bought some paint, which you can see right there. I went and bought some more paint in the color for the shelf, so I'm gonna go over it again. I don't know if I'm gonna do that today though, just because I am not wearing painting clothes, even though I am wearing kind of lazy clothes still. I don't want to get paint on like 400,000 pairs of clothes, and I still need to wash my painting clothes that I wore the past 2 times that I painted, or the time that I thought I was going to paint and then I didn't paint, and then the time that I actually painted. So I probably am not going to paint today just for that reason, and also it is 4th of July, so happy 4th of July, guys. If you celebrate, my daughter does not really like fireworks or any of that kind of stuff, so we don't really do anything at this point. She's still young, she's only a little over 2, but she's spending some time with her Lala and Papa. Me and her spent most of the day together today, and she wasn't really feeling up to a nap today. So I just came up here to work for a couple of hours, but I will probably have to only be here for a little while just so I can go and get her, because my aunt's dog, she's pretty old. Unfortunately, she has Cushing's disease, which causes her a lot of different side effects and things, and she's very scared of loud noises, storms, fireworks, all that kind of stuff, and it stresses her out, and stress could actually hurt her or even kill her if she does get too stressed. So that being said, I don't want her to have to take care of her dog who is freaking out, as well as my daughter, even though my daughter's pretty low maintenance. So I'm going to try to get as much done as I can. I think I'm really just going to focus on some more laminating and cutting out some of the stuff that I've already laminated. If I've completely finished laminating some of it, then I might be able to at least put up 1 or 2 things. We'll just see. I think I have finished the birthday charts, but I don't know for sure if I want to go ahead and set that up or not. Last year, here, I'll just show you guys. So last year I had my birthday chart on this wall, and it was kind of like vertical, and it was like different rainbows because that was the theme that it was under. This one is like butterflies and flowers, and they're a little bit bigger than those rainbows were. So I'm kind of thinking about doing something where I kind of go across this way, maybe up top here somewhere. I've got that cork board strip up there, so I could potentially use that. There's also one up there as well. So again, I could potentially use those, but I'm not 100% if that's what I want to do. Or, you know, I could put my birthdays like up here. Before I had like different like rules, classroom rule expectation type things up there, because this is where our class council board was as well. But I'll probably put those like at the front of the room once we establish those, because generally that's something that like we come up with as a class in the beginning of school, and then I would make them to match my theme and put them up. So I won't have those to do until we actually start school. Some of my coworkers did say that because we are contracting out for our custodians through an outside company, not to depend on them to clean any of this. So I might at the very least clean this wall and bring like a spray bottle in with some bleach to kill this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get rid of the stains, but thankfully I'm going to be covering it up anyway. But I at least want to kill the mold, so that way it is not causing anybody to be sick, because there are people that are allergic to that. Also, this is the bookshelf that we painted last time, completely dried. As you can tell, the black is still very much visible, which is why I had to get more paint, but it is what it is. The shelves themselves, this one didn't do so hot, but this one seemed like it covered decently well. So we'll just have to see what we can do about that next time once I have my painting clothes on, which I think I'll be coming up here tomorrow for that. But yeah, all the way around, I mean, it's, as far as the way that it looks uniformly, it is pretty even as far as, you know, how it looks all around. All of it has those patchy areas because that color is coming through. So I think one more really good coat should finally cover it. And I've got an entire can of paint this time, so even if I use a little bit too much, it's not gonna be the end of the world because that's the last shelf that I need to paint. Although I have thought about painting the gray part on my desk, because it's just like the outside and then like the fronts of the drawers. I have thought about doing that, but I'm not 100%. I've also seen people use like the wallpaper type things or like that contact paper that sticks for that part of their desk. And part of me thinks that that would probably be a lot easier, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna start getting everything set up for my laminating. I know last time I kind of had you guys further away when I was recording. When I was looking at the footage and editing, it did seem like it wasn't as easy to see what was going on, even though, I mean, the process itself is not exactly super exciting. But I even enjoy like seeing people's different methods that they do things, like how they cut things out, because sometimes you can learn like silly little tricks just from watching other people and how they choose to do stuff. So I'm gonna try to set you guys up a little bit closer, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing a little bit better this time. let's talk about the fact that I've been in here for about an hour now working on this. And I was like, it's really hot in here. Why is it so hot? Because normally it feels pretty good in here. Honestly, usually during the school year, I'm freezing. I forgot that at a certain time, the air shuts off to save energy at my school. So the air was just off. So I was just chilling in this humid weather that is seeping in from the outside because you go outside for 3 minutes and you are pouring in sweat. So that being said, I turned the air on, and I also realized, because I'm over the laminator, probably hotter than I would normally be just by being around that. But we're making quite a bit of progress, so I'm excited. I think my goal is to finish laminating all of the things that I already have cut out, except I'm finishing the birthday months. I'm cutting those out because I didn't finish cutting them out at home. And then I'm gonna laminate all that stuff, and then I'm going to try to work on cutting out everything that's already laminated, depending on how much time I have. Like I said, I know my aunt will need to take care of her dog, and I don't want to put too much on her, and it is starting to get dark out, which means that the fireworks are going to be coming in full force here soon. So while it is still a little bit light and people aren't going crazy with them yet, I'm going to try to get as much of this done as I can. Unfortunately, this hasn't been as interesting, and I'm so sorry for that. But like I said, all of this stuff in the beginning is going to just be slowly me prepping and not creating, because I didn't create any of this except for like a couple posters. But it's going to be me setting up everything to put on the walls. So I will show you, I did actually create some posters that I just made that were like themed. Because they were for my school specifically. So we have an acronym LEAD, L-E-A-D, that we use for our students, and that is our expectations for the school, and it has everything within it. So I'll show you guys what those posters look like. Again, they're not exactly like the ones that are with my set, but I tried to match the colors, and I tried to match the theme as much as I possibly could. Okay, so these are the posters that I made, and again, they are for LEAD. So L is lead with respect, E is embrace differences, A is accept responsibilities, and D is do your best. And like I said, I just made these in Canva using some of the resources that you have whenever you sign up for the teacher account, to try to match what I already had going on with the rest of the decor. As you can see, I did like the squiggly lines and the different butterflies, which again, those butterflies don't look exactly like these butterflies, but they're still butterflies and they match the colors. So I really don't think it's gonna matter much. I also need to make some of these for Leader in Me. So we are a Leader in Me school, which means that we use the 8 habits. I know it's 7, but as they get older, they learn the 8th habit. So I need to make versions of these for the 8 habits as well. And the way that I did do that was these cabinets last year, which not 100% if I'm gonna do the same thing, but these cabinets, I put like 2 habits, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on these 4. That was my 8 habits display. And I might even see, because it does, like the set that I got comes with like bulletin board letters, so I might even see about like putting like the 8 habits, or like something Leader in Me related. I might come up with something cute like how are you a leader, or whatever the case may be. And then this 4, I put those LEAD posters on, so I did L-E-A-D. And maybe I could try to find like some way to also do like a little label up here, because the reason that I wasn't sure if I was going to do it like that again is because this entire bottom part was like covered with posters, which it looked good, but then the top was like empty and it just kind of was weird. And I know like I could probably center them, but that was a lot harder to manage by myself whenever I was putting them up, so I just kind of tried to line them up correctly by using like the bottom of the cabinets as like a guide for me. So I don't know for sure if I'm gonna put those there, but I honestly think I might still, because I thought it was a good place for them. And really the kids didn't mess with them at all. So that was good. And I do have a lot of wall space, but I'm planning on putting, so those are zones of regulation, and I made these. So one of my team teachers, our art teacher, she created the template for these using her Bitmoji. And she just sent us the part without the Bitmojis on it. So I went and put my Bitmoji, which granted, my hair doesn't really look like this anymore, but it is what it is. It's supposed to look like me. And it tells like, what zone are you in? And last year, a lot of the times on the morning announcements, they would ask like, what zone are you in? And they would list off the zones. And some of my kids would even come up here and like point to their zone and specifically like how they felt. So if they were feeling restless, like they would come up and point to that. A lot of them, usually in the morning, were feeling tired and exhausted, as was I. So some of us were in the blue zone, but also lots of us were just in the green zone, which was amazing. I love zones of regulation. I think it's a great way to teach that social emotional aspect and how to regulate your own emotions, because I feel like that's kind of what's missing from kids these days. And we did get a poster that was given to us, which I do really like this poster, that has the zones on it. I think I'm gonna put this like in my actual calm down area, like hanging up on the wall. So that way it is still used and it's in multiple places in my classroom. But I do like those a lot, so I don't think I'm gonna switch those out because they're not really a theme, they're just meant to be the zones. So I'm going to set you guys back up. I just wanted to kind of touch base. I did leave a little bit ago because somebody brought me a drink, so that was super nice. I was very thirsty and honestly thought about getting one before I got here, but decided not to. So let's set you guys back up. I'm gonna keep working. I might actually get a chair and work because my back is starting to hurt from leaning over. But nevertheless, let's see what else we can get done with a little bit of time we have. Hopefully I can get as much done as possible with the little bit of time I have. So let's go. last thing that I needed to cut out laminated. I'm a little upset because, as you probably saw, my July butterfly decided to get stuck in the laminator, which it never fails. Every year I have at least 1 or 2 things get stuck in my laminator, or in the big laminator if I'm using that. So I'll just have to go home and reprint it. I'm just thankful that it was not a bunch of things. It was just one this time. You'll also notice, and I'm gonna show you guys actually. Also notice that like on some of these, it's like cut off. It's because I didn't realize that the graphic itself was bigger than the margins for printing. I should have double checked that before I printed them all off, because then I could have done the fit to page printing and it wouldn't have been an issue. But I had already printed them, and honestly, because it's kind of got like these rougher edges on some of the petals anyway, I don't even think you can really tell. Some of you are probably like, why did you cut them out before you laminated them? Well, because for one, I usually like to leave a little bit of an edge of the lamination around just for a little bit of extra protection, because I feel like it does help. If you have it right, like if you cut it on the actual paper, I feel like the seal around the edge isn't as strong because it wasn't the lamination to lamination seal, it was the lamination to the paper. I don't know if that's actually a thing or if that's just my brain telling me it's a thing, but my brain tells me it's a thing, so I do it. The other reason is if you didn't notice, on the butterflies, they have the antennas. Antennae? I don't know, I'm not the science teacher. And I was nervous that if I just laminated them as is and cut them out after, that I was gonna end up cutting off the antennas, whatever. And I didn't think it would look as like good, like, because these butterflies are really, really cute and they're very realistic other than like the colorings of some of them. And I really liked that aspect. So I wanted to keep those on there. I know that seems like something super simple, and it took me way too much time to cut these out prior, but that also allows me to put that extra edge around here as well, so these will last longer. So when I put them up, if something snags at them, they're less likely to rip off if they're not that super thin line that I just cut out after the fact. So that was my reasoning for that. And as you can see right here, this is our sad July butterfly. I have run these through my laminator again before, like run it through to flatten it out, but unfortunately it never gets completely flat, and it ends up looking different than the others, and it drives me crazy. So I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna reprint it and do it again. Just kind of sucks that you waste a whole laminating sheet, but it is what it is. I have my kiddos' name tags right here, and I've got one of the butterflies for my door display left, this one right here, with one of my kiddos' names on it, and I ended up not having, like, I was doing 3 at a time on my butterflies, and I ended up only having 1 left over, and I tried to fit it, you probably watched me try to fit it with some of these, but it just wouldn't fit. So I'm hoping later on when I'm cutting and laminating things, there will be another like smaller thing that I've cut out that I can just stick that in with. If not, I'll just use a lamination sheet. It's not that big of a deal, but I do try to save as much as I possibly can. I do have, this is all the affirmation station pieces. So this part is like the cover. Let me say hi. Hello. So it's gonna go like up the top of that. And then I have the little cards that are gonna go around it. So I've got to cut all of these out. There's a lot of cards. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put all of these up, but when I went through them, I thought they were all different, but then as I was cutting, I felt like maybe I saw some that were the same. So I'm gonna sort through them and double check to make sure I don't have any duplicates up. And I like to do like the pattern of the colors around it, so it's like all the colors of the theme. So I'll do like 1 from each color and then go back and do it again, that kind of thing. I do have, I'm not going to show you all of these because it does have my students' names, but these are the little birthday tags that go underneath the birthday chart. So this is mine, and they'll just go underneath, and then underneath those right there. And then I've got the actual, it says happy birthday. I've got that part, so that part will get displayed. And again, I'm not 100% where I'm going to do that. If you guys leave me a comment below. Do you think that I should do it like up here, or should I try to do like something up here? Because if I do it like up there, I could even hang the happy birthday part on that actual strip and not, it'll probably just be like stapled up against that. I wouldn't even have to use like a glue gun or any sticky stuff. Because if you don't know, which most teachers do, these concrete walls do not like things to stick to them. So oftentimes I end up having to use hot glue. Thankfully, it generally comes off pretty well. There's been a couple instances where I've had like some paint come off or something, but it's not ever usually too bad. Some people have suggested to use masking tape with hot glue, but that didn't work for me. It pretty much just still fell down just as quickly as it did with just tape. So I just started doing just hot glue. And I know a lot of people, seen people talking about like that alien tape stuff and all these different things. I just haven't looked into that stuff yet. So I might change that up, who knows. But I've probably got another 10 minutes or so before I'm going to wrap up. So we're gonna do a little bit more cutting out. I'll probably go ahead and I'll probably just work on cutting out these affirmation cards, because without the July one, I couldn't even put up the birthday chart if I wanted to. So I have to reprint that, and I don't want to forget about it. So if I have it sitting out here, it'll be like a visual reminder to myself. So I'll just work on cutting these. I guarantee I won't get them all done, but I'll work on cutting these out. And if perchance I do, maybe I can start hanging it up. But again, I doubt it, because I've only got like 10 minutes before I really need to wrap it up, because it starts getting dark between 7:30 and 8 here, and it is 6:17. I've been here for almost 2 hours now just working on this, and like I said, my back's starting to hurt and it's getting a little tiring. So I'm gonna take it in slow steps. It's still in the beginning of July, and I don't want to burn myself out before I even get started. But this stuff really, I enjoy doing most of this stuff, so it's really not that big of a deal for me. But like I said, I'm gonna quit rambling because I'm good at that, and we'll keep working on cutting this stuff out. Guys, so that is going to be it for part 3 of my classroom setup series. Again, I know that this is kind of not the most exciting parts right now, but it is things that we as teachers do, and I'm trying to be realistic with it as well. So I didn't get as much cut out as I had hoped. I forgot that they have rounded edges. I am using like my paper cutter some too, when I noticed my hand was starting to get crampy. So I could do that for the straight edges, but then I still have to go around the curved edges. I could have realistically left the little white corners on and it still would have looked fine, but I had already started cutting edges on some of them, so now I have to cut it on all of them. But nevertheless, I'm going to get out of here before it gets too bad with the fireworks and go get my girl. And I should be back tomorrow. I think I will definitely try to get my painting clothes washed tonight once the little one goes to bed, and then I'll be able to finish painting the shelf, because that is one of the main things, is I just want to get all of the painting stuff done. And that's another reason why I need to think about whether or not I want to paint my desk or not. I might just do that contact paper stuff. I'm gonna see how much it costs. The thing is I need to measure to see how much I'll actually need. So I need to bring a tape measure up here probably tomorrow with me to see how much of that stuff I would need and if it would be too costly for me to get, because I did find some that is super cute and matches everything, or if I should just use the paint that I already have, because I have some green left over and I have the brand new thing of purple, which I know I'm not going to use all of. So I could even like do some of it green and some of it purple if I really wanted to. But I'm not super good at painting yet again, so the contact paper might be a little bit easier, but I've also heard that that can be tricky to use. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I super appreciate all the love and support that I have been getting. If you are not following me yet on Instagram, I will have links in the description box. If there is ever anything that you have questions about, or you are not sure and you see something that you want to ask about, feel free to leave a comment and ask me about it. If I know where I got it or what it is that you're asking and I can give you an answer, I 100% will. But that being said, I hope you guys have a great time zone wherever you are in the world, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.